Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. Linus likes to put me on the spot, so I think one of the qualities of leadership is to be always prepared, so you can take and seize the opportunity as soon as it arises. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm not sure with your simple nature if you mind still being referred to as His Excellency or Your Excellency, but but we'll do you the honor, at least for once. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to explain how this session would run, would allow you share your story or your lessons for the participants over a few minutes, after which I will ask you a few questions, and then we'll take questions from the participants. So that's how this session would run. So I'll hand over to you now, sir, before I come back. A culmination. I hope to guide the questions to focus on the issues. From what I studied, reading up about you and what's available for public consumption, would note that you are very vast in business, even before you offered yourself for public service. So I would like a combination. I have questions as well that border on both, and how young people can learn. I do not advocate for people to seek to replicate other people's lives, but to try to be better than people. So I hope that in the course of this session, they would learn a few of those things.
Well, let me start by at least saying congrats to Linus and the team for this wonderful work. I was invited by Linus. We wouldn't believe I'm actually meeting him, I would say, for the first time today. You know, just like I was in all the occasions I go, people just invite me by telephone, and like our leader has said that this GSM is causing a lot of trouble because they keep emailing you and sending you texts, all sorts of things then come to you, and you said, okay, let's go and see what this person is doing. That's how I went to the platform. That's how I came here today. Kept sending me texts, sending me texts. Say, what are you doing? Said he's going to do this. I said, okay, let me come. But seeing the two chairmen of these great two newspapers here, I must tell you I'm impressed, and I must thank you, both of you, for being here. It's not often that you see people who are successful as you people are coming out on a day like this on what the average Nigerian will regard as wasting time with these coppers. I'm telling you, this is a major and critical problem of our country. How many times did any of you met our leaders while you were in school? Did they come to your school? No. I do a program every month. I visit a school. You know, I must visit a primary school at least once a month. I've done it all my life because I participated in running. I've been part of running a care program, you would say. It's taking me all over the world. I was in Rwanda, I was in the most difficult parts of the world. You know, as a governor, people saw me. I was in Haiti when they had an earthquake for 1 week. My last school trip was in Kogi, just last week. It was a very remote area where you will never believe it's part of Nigeria. And there, as a rundown primary and secondary school, the schools were, I don't know how I can imagine, but when I went there, the first question I asked them is, have you ever seen a governor? Have your governor ever visited? They said, no. How about deputy? No. Commissioner for Education? No. How about chairman of local government? No. How about councillor? They say they have never seen anybody from government here. In fact, when they say somebody is coming, they're wondering, you know, and you could see it. It's not there. These are part of our problem. He spoke about Singapore, maybe because of that. But I'm asked to talk about my background. Where do I start? Will I tell you my experience as a student in school? Of course, I went to Soka. Everybody knows that I went to Soka. The only thing I can tell you that I was born in a trading family. I'm a trader. That's what I do. My father and my mother, my parents are traders. I grew up in a trading house, and I learned to trade. That's what I do. As a university student, everybody in Soka knows me as a trader. Some of you might be surprised. I was a businessman while I was in the university. I built the Savannah Bank branch in Omo while I was a student. I built where I lived in Soka. I used to live with the present Sultan of Sokoto. He was an army captain, so living at Soka. I used to live with him. I built my house in Soka. All my life I've always believed in trading. I don't believe in any other thing. And when I left school, I went to the market to trade. Until today, if you see my passport, what it says is trader. There's no definition of it. But I tell people now say to me, I'm a banker, or this. If I tell you, I got involved in the banking by default. A bank manager requested that my account be closed because I was like trying to get something done, and it was wasting my time, and I raised my voice. And he said my account should be closed. So I decided that I would buy the share of that bank every year with my profit. And after 5 years, I became the highest shareholder. But that is not the issue. People ask me, how did you get into politics? I got into politics again by default. And people will say, I've asked people ask me, what do you think you regret most in your life? I said, are you talking about in terms of personal loss? If it is, it's politics. And I'm sure most people will say the same. And I'll tell you, I never voted before I went to contest governor in my state. I was not a member of any political party. I never had anything to do with politics. And that's the only story I want to share with you today. In 1998, a man called Professor B.C. Nwosu, governor of Anambra State, under the then PDP, and somehow was denied. Everybody believed he won the primary, but he was denied. And then he was moved to become the advisor of the president in Abuja. I wasn't part of their politics, I wasn't part of the party, nothing. And then he went there, started working, then became a minister. In 2001, people saw maybe things, there was time schools were closed in Anambra State for 1 year. They went to him and said, we want you to go and contest again being governor in Anambra State. In 2003, Professor B.C. Nwosu told them that in 2003, he will be 60 years old. That he does not think that the governor of Anambra State will be a man who is 60 years old. That they should go and look for a young man between 40 and 45 who is successful on his own and can be able to handle and deal with the state the way. And the people that went to meet him gave him a task and said, we want you to give us, this was happening in December. December 2000. They said to him, we want you to give us 3 names and we'll go and approach them. I wasn't part of this conversation. They left. In February, of course, being a bank director, bank chairman, A then Minister of Health invited me for a dinner. For me, it was, hey, I've gotten the account of the ministry. That was all. So I went to Abuja. We had dinner in his house. We spoke for hours about governance and everything. He never mentioned anything to me. We just spoke for hours about governance and everything. And eventually, I got account of one of the pastors within the ministry, which I was very glad that I got and was looking forward to getting the main one. Because that's, for me, that's what I needed, getting the account. I left him. In April, the group went back to him and said, we want you to give us the names so we can go and approach them. He said, I have two names. Number one, Peter Obi. Number two, Peter Obi. And phoned me and said, some people are coming to see me. And the people came from Abuja, arrived at my office and said, they've come to see me. They want me to go and contest the governor. I said, people don't know what you're talking about. I said, I sit, as at that time, I was the only Nigerian who was technically on board of 3 banks. You're not allowed to sit on board of more than 1 bank. But I was chairman of a bank, a director in Guardian Express, another bank, chairman of Guardian Express Mortgage Bank. I was in about 5 quoted companies. By virtue of my investment, I was virtually living in the UK. I come to Nigeria and spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I go back on Wednesday night to the UK. I come back. So, what is this people talking? They don't know what they're talking about. I said to them, don't go there. Do you know I have not been to my village? By that time, and until today, it's the same case. For those who are from Anambra State here, I don't have a house in my village. But by that I said, you people know that I don't have a house in my village. I don't have anything. So where will I start? What am I going to tell the people? In any case, they left me. I went back and told them their experience. I used to go to one on my own. All those things that were read out in my CV. The way I used to spend my holidays is to go to one school and spend a month or 2. In 2001, I was in Kellogg Graduate School in Northwestern University. That was the last year of a man called Professor, the Dean of the Kellogg Graduate School, the man who founded it in 1957, Professor Jacobs. It was his last year. He took us on a course called Global Economy. It's important that I tell you this story. He took us on a course called Global Economy. I was there for 1 month, 6 weeks. But he took us on this course for 1 month. After 3 weeks of talking about global economy, not one day did Dean Jacob talk about Africa. You can imagine me, who paid fee to go to school. Nobody's talking about your place. On a day before the last day of the course, and that was the last day of Dean Jacob lecturing in that school, everybody from Chicago came to listen to Dean Jacob. And I raised my hand. I said, you've not said anything about Africa. And he said, do I want to know about Africa? I said, yes. I paid $40,000 for this course. So what am I learning here? And he said, I will tell you about Africa tomorrow. The next day, he finished and turned to me. We were talking. I said, Peter, do you want to know about Africa? I said, yes. He said, there's nothing called African economy. You can imagine how depressed I am. He said, nobody plans with Africa. Let me tell you, I founded this school. I've been lecturing here for the past 50-something years. Have you ever seen, you can see people say, when they're doing vehicles, American specification, European specification, Japanese specification, Arabs, have I ever heard about African sophistication? And he gave me examples of other things and turned to me and said, in this country called America, we have 10-year, 20-year, 30-year plan. Do you have such in your country? Like you're in this type of environment. What do you think I'll say? I said, yes, we have it. He said, okay. I said, yes, I will have about 20-year plan. He said, I know that we don't even have next year plan. But I have to tell him, he said, I want you, that's very good. I want you to join me for lunch. I joined Dean Jacob for lunch. And after lunch, he said, let's take a walk by the banks of Lake Michigan. If you know Kellogg Graduate School, it's on the bank of Lake Michigan. This is the school, this is the lake. So we took a walk. As we were walking, Dean Jacob said to me, do you have any of your country's currency? In 2001, the highest denomination of our currency is 100 naira. So I brought out 100 naira. Dean Jacob brought out $100. He said to me, which of these two currencies do you prefer or want? What do you think I'll say? The dollar. Because then dollar was 100 naira to $1. So sorry, 100 naira to $1. So I said to him, I want the dollar. He said, why? I told him the reason why I want it is because it's 100 naira to $1. So what you have is 10,000 naira, and what I have is 100 naira. So he gave me his $100 and took my 100 naira. I started walking again. And after the next, say 100 meters, he turned to me again and said, Peter, why do you prefer, tell me again, why do you prefer the dollar to your currency? I told him the same story. He said, young man, sit down. We've watched you, we've stayed with you. The only reason you prefer another country's currency to your currency is the amount of faith you have in your country. Economy is driven by faith. It is not the rate. He said it's not the rate. You don't have faith in your country. He first proved to me that it costs more to print the naira than to print the dollar, because naira have multiple colors. So it's more in terms of cost of money. And he said to me, the Chinese people want to keep their money in Chinese, yeah. The Singapore want to keep their money in Singapore dollar. The Malaysians want to keep their money in Malaysian ringgit. Then there was no euro. The Germans want to keep their money in Dutch mark. The British people in pounds. The Italians in real, even when the rate is even worse than your own. Can I ask you for a favor? I said, you can. He said, can you go back to your country and participate in building public wealth? Public wealth enriches everybody. Individual wealth impoverishes everybody. He said, what people do in your country is that they are pursuing individual wealth. They are accumulating individual money. And the person is poor. I'm a lecturer. I'm retired now. And I drive a Mercedes S-Class. My wife is a lecturer, drives a Lexus. My daughter is a lecturer. So, and we're living well. Do lecturers in your country live like that? Of course, in everything I say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because, there's a sense of feeling. I came back to this country, immediately after that course, I came back to this country. I went to Onitsha to look for the next branch. We had a problem with a branch we had rented from somebody. We were having a problem with the landlord. So I went to talk to, I had a meeting with the landlord on a Sunday. On a Monday morning, I was living on Onitsha, and I saw what I'm sure some of you might not remember. You remember it, but they had something they used to call Bakassi people, killing those with us. On a Monday morning, I was passing through, going back to Lagos by road, because I used to travel by road, investors in MTN. And I turned to my wife and said, I'm going to contest the election to be governor. Whatever brought us this low, people have to fight it. You can imagine my wife. We've never done this before. We've never talked about this before. He said, Peter, what is wrong? I said, listen, there's nothing wrong. Everybody invited me. Peter, you're already at 40. You're chairman of the bank. You own shares there. You're this and that. I said, well, the way this thing is going, I don't think I'll get to 50 before it will collapse. So let's first rescue it from collapsing, and everything. And that's why, like I said, you will have to take back your country.
Wow. Thank you.
It's critical. You see, that's how I packed my suitcase. I went to my village. Can you imagine? After that, this happened about September, October. By December 2001, I packed everything without having a home in my village. My mother built a house with 6 boys. Even though one is a priest, but he made sure that everybody had his own flat, 2-bedroom flat. So he built 6 flats. So I went to my own to live. I packed my things and said, I'm going back to my village. As I stayed there for 2 years in the village, campaigning, going around, no patio, nothing. Yeah, you people might not know. I said, I didn't have any party. I was just going around and preaching to people and saying, we must change this, we must do this. So that's how I started. Eventually, people believed in what I was saying. And then they started this new party called ABGA. I joined it. Even those that met along the line, everybody believed in what I was saying. Believed I was saying, even our leader then, Chukwu would say, listen, are you sure this line is real? Because everybody believes in what the church, everybody joined in and all that. And I got elected. And they announced somebody else's name. I went to court. And everybody keep telling me, hey, wait a minute. Nobody have ever became governor through the court in this country. I was in court for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It was in the 3rd year. Even my lawyers, everybody was at the time said, why don't you? I said, I must be here. And every money I earned, I was paying senior advocates. And my wife was like, what is happening, Peter? You have ended this thing. Why don't we just, I said, no, me and these people will see the end of this thing. If we don't see the end, then. And that's how I stayed. After 3rd year, of course, I became the court. Now when I hear people give money, court, give this, I know. No judge. Let me tell you, the female judge that gave my judgment, the best judgment of my case at the appeal court, she's now a judge of Supreme Court. I never met her. I met her only about a year ago for the first, towards the end of my governor, and I went to her and said, thank you very much because I couldn't have imagined going to a judge and say, give me judgment. So what I was doing then is making sure evidence, we are calling witness after witness. We called over 300 witnesses to prove that this man did not win. That time, people came to me with all sorts of things. You can imagine the frustration of being in court for 3 years. People come to you and said, hey, wait a minute. Even I went to a church where a bishop said to me, well, we voted for you, but being an act of God, God gave it to somebody else. I said, well, listen. I said, Bishop, so many people who stole people's motor or things, it was act of God. But we had to chase them and catch them and put them in prison. Not an act of God. But I was there. Of course, my story, I'll just end it before I will start, is that I just want to tell you this background. became a governor, and as you know, 6 months I was impeached. I was removed from office twice. You know, people don't know that. And of course, you heard me talk about why I was impeached in the platform. People didn't know. What do I tell people to end it? When people tell me, why were you impeached, Peter? Why were you, what was all this quarrel with people and everything? I said, well, I was a driver who was carrying passengers who have since passed their destination, because they want us to do it the same way we used to do it. And I refused. So they decided to push me out and go back to where they are. And I struggled and got the car back and decided I must drag them to the destination yelling and crying. And that's what I did. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have a few questions. Now I'm trying to, reduce the number of questions that I have so that we can take more questions. But I want to start with where you stopped. You built a career in business, and then you went into public service, and I'm sure you're back to business. A lot of public officials or public servants find it difficult to readjust back to business. People have often undue expectations of them, so why are you coming back to struggle for business or to pitch for jobs after you have been in that position? So I would like to hear your thoughts on this. What would you advocate should be the role of people like you who have served in government and have left?
Well, I listened to the publisher when he was talking. I think actually, in the first place, we shouldn't allow people who don't have anything to get into office in the first place. Because I think that is a major problem, because they don't have anywhere to go back to. So they stay there even and start causing confusion when they're supposed to leave. Because if they have a place to go back to, they will go back to where they're coming from. That is the major problem in the first place. So we have to know where are they coming from, what is their job, what do they do for a job. You see, it is critical that you understand this. People must have a daytime job before they go into politics. They don't have a daytime job, like I always tell people, let me tell you the biggest problem our country, our states, and our local government face today. People who have never created anything are managing our resources. A man who has never created wealth cannot manage wealth. All 99.5% of lottery winners globally have gone bankrupt. And that is what we are facing here.
All right, sir. You spoke a lot in the past events platform about how you tried to, like you said, take people to the destination, how you try to do things differently away from the way that things had been done before. How did you manage that process? Because in leadership, I think one of the biggest challenges is change. People resist change where they don't understand it. People resist change when they are not comfortable with it. People resist change when they believe it's not going to favor them. So how were you able to, from your team, your government, your cabinet, and the rest of the people of Anambra State, how were you able to manage or communicate and help them to adjust to the changes that you made?
I listened to, I always refer to my senior, the publisher, when he was talk about Singapore. Today, people are celebrating Singapore. It wasn't all rosy for Lee Kuan Yew. He had to drag everybody to the wedding, unhappily. A leader must be somebody of a strong character. So once he develops the vision and believes that it's going to the right direction, there's no way, even of course, those of us who are Christian, you saw that even from 1 dozen, even the one who was keeping money was the one who sold Jesus. So there's no way you're going to get everybody to believe in you, not even in your house. I always tell people that even in my house, I just have my wife and 2 kids, and I don't even think that if they vote, they will vote for me. So, but you just have to drag everybody going, you see it. No, I know that in my house because they always want to speak to my wife and not me, because they know that I will drag everybody, doing what? Going to that direction. Because that's why a leader must be a visionary. If you look at Lee Kuan Yew, for example, that he mentioned, he didn't explain to you about how Singapore came into being. He just mentioned independence. Singapore used to be part of Malaysia. And one day, the president of Malaysia said, you have to go. And the Lee Kuan Yew, the leader of Singapore, knelt down to beg Malaysia not to allow them to go because they have nothing. That if they go, they are finished. And Malaysia said, you must go. He turned on his people and said, we have nothing. No natural resource, no water. Even their water has been taken over by Malaysia. So we don't even have anything. So what do we do? Let's offer service to the world. That's how Singapore decided we have to be part of this. Singapore doesn't have a drop of oil today, but they make more money than Nigeria from oil. Not one drop. They don't have anything. They have the biggest seaport in the world. They have people to 90% of those who use Singapore airline are not Singaporeans. What's providing them with service? If you go to their country, like he says, you regain your sanity. Because if you come from the airport, the welcome, the everything, you go to a hotel, the way they serve you, and everything. You'll be shocked the service they're giving you. So what it is that, yes, you have to look at it, how these things emerge and said, well, listen, I have to drag these people to where all those who have brought change have been resisted everywhere. It's not peculiar to anybody. But those who have done it dragging everybody going. And I give you one example of my own case. When I found that our school system was not working, and I found the formula that would make it work, because in 2007, we had WAEC. We were number 26. I think 26 or 27. I can't remember the exact number, but 26 or 27. Because I know we were one, Oyo was on top of us. Next year we were on top of them. But it was 26 or 27. In both WAEC and NECO, in the next year, subsequent year, it happened. And I decided, no, we are not getting it right. We must change this. And the only way to change it is to take the schools back to the missionaries that used to own school. And I put up a committee to do a study on how we can return schools back to the original owners. You know what the committee recommended that it's impossible, that this thing took, the school was, government took over the schools 40 years ago. In fact, one of the women who were in the committee said to me, I'm 41, I have a daughter who is already 21, I had a baby, it's like telling me to go and become a young girl again. I brought it to my council, which is people are appointed, or I appointed all of them. Not one was imposed on me. And because I believed, I've always said in my council that a leader must be a listener. A leader must not know it all. Whoever knows it all should not lead. You must be a learner. So I tried to open for vote. Guess what happened? I lost because only 3 people supported me. I came back to my house. I told my wife the same story because I tell my wife most of the critical. He said, Peter, since we came here, it's only one quarrel after the other. Yeah. Why are you going to do this one now? Teacher said if you do this, they'll shut down school. But I knew that was the problem. One morning I announced it. And NUT shut down the school. So for 3-4 months, there was no school in the state. Eventually, on intervention of federal government, it was settled. We went into it for 1 year, 2nd year. By the 3rd year, our target was to be within the first 10 in Nigeria. By the 3rd year, we were number 1. 4th year, we were number 1. 5th year, we were number 1. Today, everybody is celebrating it. But I tell you, I stopped going to people's house. Stay here. So that you don't learn any other thing. And I tell you, we developed that. So today I don't care about the kind of trousers, I don't care about shoes or trousers, watches. He likes good things, I can tell you. People say, oh, he goes out and say, oh, Peter, I bought 2 watches. I said, no. But the only purpose of watch is to keep time. I have 1. So why did you buy another one? You know, and we are close. So you must tolerate people. Thank you.
All right, questions? I'll take one. Okay, please sit down. Please sit down.
All protocols observed. Your Excellency, sir, I want to ask you about your view on the amalgamation of 1914. Considering the fact that it's difficult to maintain group loyalty, common identity, national culture, and consensus, with a lot of authors still referring back to it as a problem now. What do you have to say about that, sir?
That is not our problem. That I can tell you now, it is not our problem. Our problem is that we have not seen selfless leadership among our people. We were not, let me tell you, so many other countries of the world, including America, we emulate today, we are a collection of people from different parts of the world. But because they have a selfless leader, you see, when you have what we have here now, where you have people who are not even in your local government committed to leadership, they intend to question about your mother, your color, your this. I lived in the UK, and I can tell you that I became close to one of the Nigerian high commissioners in the UK because one day I went to an event in the UK and Nigerians were talking about discrimination, racism, everything, and I raised my hand. I said, sir, let me mention it. I said, sir, if anybody thinks there's racism in the UK or discrimination, he should go back to his country. Don't come here and start talking about racism. I lived here for 10 years, made money, had white people working for me, lived in better part of London, drives a big, good car. Nobody stopped me for one day. There's a law if you follow it, because once you have vision, Nigerians have made money and are doing well, professionals in America and everywhere. People don't know where they came from. So that is not our problem. Our problem is what the publisher of it has said. We should take back our country and ensure that those who lead us are the best. If they are, you wouldn't even know these things you're talking. Once you can create a society where people's talent, hard work, will match up their opportunity, you will hear about all this again.
All right, so I'll take the lady in front. I guess the 2 questions are in one. The 2 questions are in one.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Oyaone Adobe. My question is, sir, can you tell us the yardstick with which greatness is measured, or the yardstick with which success is measured? Thank you.
Well, for me, this one I have to be personal. Is this measurement? For me, the measurement is the amount of impact or contribution you made within your environment. As a businessman, I used to tell my gate man one story, that you came to me as a gate man. God did not create you gate man. And I listened to Linus. If you go back as a gate man, I failed you. And I was telling somebody in the plane this morning, I said, let me tell you, my gate man was one of the most intelligent people I met in Lagos as a businessman. Whenever I come back, I'll call him and say, Elijah, let me tell you, I have this. What do you think? He said, oh, God, don't worry. I'll tell you later on. Then even, I drink only one alcohol, stout. He will go and buy it. So, okay, I just buy you stout now. Make I tell you that story where you tell me. And his ideas are wonderful. So, today, he's a successful businessman. So if the amount of impact you were able to make in your society, selfless impact, not the accumulation of personal wealth, that makes the impact.
All right, second column.
Okay, good day all. My name is Moses Nkemoka. I work with Emotion Advertising. My question is this. In the corporate world, I found out that one of the major problems is succession plan in terms of who takes over from a business. And you are a successful businessman. What advice will you give Nigerians? Because I know that majority of companies in Nigeria failed because of succession plan. So what plan will you, what advice will you give young Nigerians towards this? And how can we go about making sure that companies are sustained?
Please use the mic so everybody can hear you.
So that companies are sustained in Nigeria.
Succession planning, how can young people?
Well, for me, succession plan, whether it's in corporate or in public world, is be selfless. In the political world, it might be different because, like the publisher said, what adds up there is not really what you can control. But in the corporate world, it's very easy in the sense that you know those you're working with. You know those who are part of the drivers of the institution or business. Be selfless. In succession plan, don't go and be looking at somebody so much or somebody who like his face or her face. The person who is coming after you might not be somebody, but you can look at it. Especially if it's a personal business, it's important because most businesses in Nigeria are personal business. People think, oh, well, listen, my son or my daughter must take over. It is not proper. Look for somebody that can manage the business more successfully and everything. As I am today, I have 2 graduates in my house. They are doing something else. If I have a business today, but somebody said to me, I mentioned it when I talked on the platform, I saw your son looking for a job. Peter, I mean you cannot give him a job. I said, he saw him looking for a job. Did he tell you he wants his father to give him a job? Because we have always debated this issue where I can tell you my son's name is exactly my name, Peter Gregory Obi. My son has changed his name and said he doesn't want that Peter. Because the problem he has is that people think because it's from me, he will have something to give them, that he's looking for a job. His name is Osele Krobi, and he goes around looking for a job. He doesn't want to do what I do. And I don't want to drag him into that. Because of it, he's looking for a job. So when you do succession, look for the brightest, the best, that can make the company survive.
Thank you, sir. The copper.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oduda Basiasuko, and this is my question. Okay, sir, the problem that we have in Nigeria, obviously, is terrible leadership. And
What?
Terrible leadership.
Question, please.
So my question is this: since we seem to have just two platforms, like let's say two political parties that are actually involved in Nigeria, what are the other platforms that a youth can have to participate in Nigerian politics?
My dear, let me correct you. One minute. We don't have terrible leadership. We actually have, again, let me tell you, we also have terrible followership. You have listened to me say it. I've been in office. Let me tell you the greatest problem that is in our country today. It is not that we have, yes, the number one problem is leadership. But what is even worse? The followership. I was a governor for 8 years. For 8 years. From the one that I started, what do you get? First, you start seeing the so-called elites, the so-called powerful royal fathers and everybody coming to pay you courtesy call. They will write and say they want to see you. They come to your office. Once you open the door, they say, hey, Peter, since you came, hey, the world have changed. I didn't know this is this good. You haven't done anything, no? You know yourself, you have not done anything. This person will be praising you. And your Excellency, hey, we didn't know there's anybody like you in this world. This thing, that one, and when he's going, of course, you heard me say, when he's going, you have this bunch of people, they call protocol people. Now, who comes and says, the man is going, no. We didn't give him anything, no. That usually when they come, they normally give them maybe 200,000 or this and I said, listen, hey, wait a minute. This man just said he want to see me. I didn't invite him. He was who came here. So why are we going to give him money? We're not going to give him anything else.
Transport fare, sir.
Then you have people who say, hey, we want to do Thanksgiving for you. A church, we must pray for you. You enter the church. You see this and hey, since you came, God has turned this place around. God Almighty, God is, and then the same people will tell you, say, we didn't come with anything to give. I said, the man say he wants to thank God to bless us. So, why are we going to give him money? And he became a quarrel with people because they thought, and everything. The same thing, you are going around everywhere 6 months after being governor or minister or anything. Somebody who voted, I didn't have a house in my village. You invite people and say you're doing Thanksgiving with a big house, several vehicles. Your wife will even have a shabby uniform for the Thanksgiving. God will multiply it. This man has just stolen our money. Instead of calling police, they are celebrating him. That is the major problem of the country.
Well said, sir.
You know where I got the truth? If I tell you where I got the truth, you hear me say it every day. I use one local government, one town called Obo Family. Obo Family is the border, the last town in Anambra State, if you are going through where we call Oka North. Nobody had ever visited there. I went there. The whole town was dancing. They were very happy. The parents. I looked at 3 little children. Because they were in front of me, I was fond of school children. And I said to them, these are under 12. Do you know me? Yes. Do you have any problem? He pointed, our school have no roof. The parents are here praising me and calling me His Excellency, wonderful man. But there's a school just looking at here without a roof. The parents did not see it. The other one, they have no teacher. They have no toilet. These three people have a problem, and that's it. I once went to a secondary school and promised the secondary school that I'm going to, because I visited all the secondary schools. I once went to the secondary school, promised them that I'm going to come back before Christmas and give them a check to do their roof for 7 million naira, because that's what the bill. I didn't do it. In January every year, I will bring schools to do what we call students interaction. I brought this school, Mother of Mercy, let me remember the name, Azibo. The school is a young girl raised his hand. A girl that was in JS1, class 1. And I said, yes. He said, Governor, why is it that you don't keep your promise? Before, as he was saying it, the principal ran from the back, held her in the mouth. But he was just about to tell me the truth. And I said, I'm telling you what a life story. I'm telling you a life story. I'm sure when you tell this story, everybody in Anambra will tell. The principal ran from the back. And I said, Principal, leave this girl to tell me. He said, you didn't keep your promise. You came to our school and he called the exact date I came, made the promise, and I didn't come back. And I said, okay, wait. I called the Commissioner for Education. I said, what happened? He said, hey, we've actually, because whenever I go to any place and promise, you must write the check. He said, we have actually done that check, but we will not deliver. I said, go and bring it. They brought it. I called the young girl, said, I'm sorry, you were right, and I apologize to you. Here is your check. The same place that came from the back, I carried on here. I was going to the. So you see, this is the crisis. This is the crisis of our country. This is the crisis of our country. That's why I said we must take it back. It's not whether we have one party or two party. You told him and Pat told me that they are good. Let's take it back and follow them.
Absolutely. Questions, one copper.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is gotnielc2016, and thus goes my question. Now, considering your entrepreneurial and academic background, as well as your experience in politics, what exactly is your counsel to young Nigerians, young educated Nigerians, as a matter of fact, who are interested in going into politics so as to have a platform to reinvent the nation's leadership and also to touch the grassroots so as to bring about a reinvention of the followership as well? Thank you.
That was Channels TV News.
Well, my position is very simple. I've said it before. Whatever is going wrong in this country today, it is your future. Most of the actors today in our political life, I can tell you, most of them have lived better part of their life. So it is your future that they are toying with. It is you that will determine the future. That future you want, you must build it. Don't think that you can dream about living in America when things are not working here. Somebody told you how good this place used to be. That people were thinking there would be. Mandela said it that when he was in detention, he was hearing about Nigeria. He thought this is a wonderful country. The Lee Kuan Yew wanted to come to Nigeria. Everybody. So that future you want, you must build it. You must be able to stand and say no to what is happening today. I've said it before. The man who is leading the protests, whether you like it or not, in Hong Kong, the young boy is 17 years old. Today is 19. And he said to the parents, it is about my future. It's about your future. I see youth corpers here. And when I see them with a sense of, regret, a sense of, a feeling of pain. These people have been to school. All they want is an opportunity to contribute in building their country. All they want is a job. They're not looking for anything great. It's an opportunity for them to contribute. We have people, millions of them in their productive age doing nothing. What are you going to do in your retirement age? Today, we don't even have enough money to even send youth corpers at once. They're now putting them in patches. They don't know. They don't even have money. Even those who want to serve youth corpers, we don't even have enough money to serve them. I can tell you, the amount of money we need to take all the youth corpers is not up to expenses of people running around in this country. Yeah. So if we can't go on like that, something drastic must happen. So you must be able to go in and say, I want to make a difference as a councillor. I want to make a difference as a local government chairman. I want to support Sam, who I know if he goes there, he means well. Let nobody come and use it for talk. I've said it before. If anybody wants their talk, let it start with his children. And we know it's serious. If talk is a business, let his children start it. And everything. And I always tell people, that the things I do that it makes, for me, it is important that if you must get involved, it's not a place for saints. I'm not one. But we must reduce our greed. My prayers is not that we should eliminate corruption. I always tell people, my prayer is that we should reduce our greed. It is the greed that is making us where we are. We should do things in a sensible, acceptable manner. Nobody needs a house all over the world because he has served his people. But he can live well.
All right. I'll overrule you for just 6 minutes. I want to say, in addition to what... you don't have to stand. Please sit. Okay. You see, you have a forum here with which to start to change what is happening. You all know each other, or I hope you do. Isn't there one person who is ambitious enough to want to lead this country that the rest of you cannot support? You support, you keep raising the support. Don't keep looking for money. Keep looking for how you support that person. Whether they come in as a councillor, support that person in the projects they want to do. Come in as a local government chairman, move to the Senate. You see, and then when you see some things that are definitely wrong, you cannot fall victim to that. I want to ask you, who gave you the best meal you had last year? Can any of you remember it? I mean, you can remember it? How long did it last before you went to the toilet? That is what has happened. Stomach culture has killed most of you here. Because you just went for that small bag of rice or whatever, you got it, and it's in the soak away now. None of you can go and identify it. So until you realize that just a little bit they used to deceive you, how long will it last? You can't go that way. Because they don't know you before then, will they know you after? But the person that you know here right now, if you start from today, 1, 2, 3 people, whether, I don't care whether it is in business or whatever, and you begin to support, and you can checkmate them. Because if they go wrong, you'll be the first to talk. You'll begin to see you have changes. Right now, your senators are greedy. They are overpaid, they keep looking for more. That budget padding that came out now, it's not today. I am very sure he can tell you many things about it. It has been going on, but because one person was not happy, he squealed, everybody else is complaining. They are trying to be saints. There are hardly any saints there. But if you don't keep tweeting about it, keep putting it on social media, make sure that no event that is evil goes down as a group, as a body, then you have not achieved anything. Get together and start now.
That was the point. Chairman, I have to thank you sincerely. Chairman told you now is what I've maintained. That future, you must build it. He just told you about this. House members in our country earn more than MPs in London. I was in London on Tuesday, just this Tuesday, for a meeting of the Commonwealth Business Council, the governing board. When we finished the meeting, I was just leaving Commonwealth with a Nigerian that I met when I was going in there and said, okay, why don't two of us take a walk to somewhere when I finish and talk? As we were just coming out there, I said, see David Cameron. You know, he said, it's true. I said, this man is like any other human being. He has to walk around. He went and said, oh, they took picture. I wish I was there. I would have shown you the picture and everything. And he said, Peter, you don't want to take picture with you? I said, no. I see them every day like this. That the man has to, if he's an MP, if they see him in a field, if they see, say, ex-prime minister. And I went down and told him that every other person in Europe, in the entire Europe, there's nothing called a first-class section of the plane. The British Prime Minister cannot take off and say, I'm going to Germany, I enter flight first class. He doesn't have a private jet. If he tries it, that's the end of his job. Angela Merkel, whose economy, GDP, is 4 trillion, does not have a private jet. Even when he came here, he came on Lufthansa. And he cannot fly first class. And you can go on and on. So that future, my dear people, you will build it. You will say no.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Amoke Chisom. My question here is, sir, I was impressed when you said after the election, you continue. So I want to know, after the election and another person's name was announced.
Yes.
Why do you push up with the case? What makes you think the result announced was not fair, even when your wife asked you not to? Because many of us have contested in one post or the other, but after the election, we believe, just like what the bishop said, that God knows the best. So I just want to know why. Thank you.
All right, last question. That's your faith in the judiciary. So, no, it's the guy behind, the one without a pair of glasses. I'm sorry. He shook his hand. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon, sir. I'm Godwin Olusegun. So my question goes this way. What is that I've seen in the life that, in the biography, that there's perseverance. What is that motivating factor of this particular thing that kept you going despite those challenges? And you don't add title to yourselves, because I know you are a doctor, but you just got, you see as a minister, you see as a mister. So why don't you add title to yourselves? Thank you so much.
Did you understand the question? Do you understand the question, sir?
Yes.
All right.
Let me tell you what happened to me while I was coming here. This I'll answer it openly. While I was coming here now, I spoke to a man called Reverend Father George Ehuseni. George Ehuseni is a Reverend Father in Abuja. He called me to thank me because some of you might have read it or not read it, where I said that churches should stop giving titles. I'm a Catholic And suddenly my church has started giving titles to people. They will tell you this idea of this diocese, this and that. So about 3 weeks ago, my church wrote me personally that they want to make me the Duke of the diocese and my wife the Duchess. And I wrote them back. I said, please, do not ruin this church by all these titles. We already have quiet societies people can belong. Either you're a member of St. Jude or St. Paul or St. this. They already have a protocol on the church. I don't know what it's called. For me, Duke in the UK is a leader of a dukedom or second in command to the king. I'm neither. You know, and to add this title to my wife even worsens it. Because, you know, when women get title, I'm sorry, they have to get something that will go with it. So maybe he has another cloth that will go as Duchess. So it complicates the matter. So I said, if you're looking for money, the money I give you is part of what God gave me. So if you want, the reason why I said so is that all these titles, when I was a governor, and I said this again, go and check. Several universities wrote me to give me doctorate degree. When I asked people in this country, can we stop giving people award until they finish? Let them go out of the office. And if they deserve any award, we'll give it to them. If you give it today, I can take it. But a governor stays in office, takes the money of this state, gives a hostel for a university, they give him a doctorate degree. This man didn't build it. So obviously we know where the money came from. Because if he was that generous and a good man, he would have built one before. So let's wait after. If he builds one, maybe after we have seen years of. So there's too much of award of all sorts of titles and everything here. We must stop that. It is not part of office. Two, on what you said, what gave me this. Again, I keep going back to publisher who said he will contest again and again. Let me tell you, one of the greatest presidents in America. Do you know who I'm talking? Who is he? Eh? No. One person. Let me see. Abraham Lincoln, Roosevelt, go and read their history. You find out that they contested for election several times. And listen, when you ask, a lady asks, when you fail, what keeps you going on? Let me tell you, of all the 10 richest people in the world, 60% have actually filed for bankruptcy. One of the greatest leaders today we know is Steve Jobs. Let me tell you, Steve Jobs started Apple with his friend. But you know when he hired John Scully, he sacked him because of incompetence or not helping the business. He left and came back. And I can go on and tell you so many people who have filed for bankruptcy and survived. That's why what it says about perseverance is critical. Anybody who tells you that, oh, these things are very sweet and everything, no. It is up and down. Life is like you enter the plane, you go through the bad weather, like pilot told us, that is so that he's telling you what he was seeing in cockpit. The passengers don't know those things that happen, you know. They think the plane is very smooth. It is not smooth. I have stayed in cockpit of a plane. When I finish, I say, is this what we are seeing every day? When it's announced that we are going through bad weather, I'm under control, everything is okay. Let me tell you, just be praying to God. Because it goes up and down. It's like marriage. You see people celebrating 25 years of happy marriage. Where? They are celebrating 25 years of managed quarrels. They managed their life for 25 years. Wow!
All right, sir. We have one more question.
They are managed to survive it. So that is the question. You talked about your local government chairman. Where do we start? Not just local government chairman, not just councillor, not just governor, not just president. Where do we start? Let's start by doing one thing. When the man is campaigning, let's take a note of his promises. When he takes office, let's hold him to his promises. Let him not tell us any excuse that he got in there and saw ABCD. No. You should know all those things that you are going to see. You shouldn't change when you come in. Because it is assumed you know this hole. So if you tell us you're coming to fill this hole, come and fill the hole. Don't tell us you came and it was deeper. If it was deeper, you created it. Because you should have known. You see, we these people here, they're campaigning and telling us, we're going to tie this road, we're going to feed you, we're going to do this. Then he comes there and says, hey, he meets an empty treasury. What do we think we're going to meet before? No, it is assumed that when you're campaigning, these are part of the things that are there. People took Japan, a collapsed place after the war, and turned it around. People have met Germany, people are taking collapses and turned it around. So don't give us the excuse. What we want to see is, where are we going? Tell us that what a government says is hope. Tell us we are moving from point A to B. Nobody wants you to achieve everything. You can't achieve 100% of everything. We want to see 100% effort. That every year we are driving to this direction, we are going. And then we have a hope. But what we have today, we have a sense of hopelessness. Like I tell people, tomorrow is church service. Imagine if you enter that church and the pastor says, there's no more heaven. Everybody will leave. Because what we are here for is heaven. We want people that will keep promising us that heaven. And that is what we are not getting here. There's no perfect economy in the world. Whether it's in America, whether it's in Britain, whether it's in anything. But what are people doing? They are driving hope. And where you think you cannot do it, please, for God's sake, Cameron took British people to just referendum. When they finished, he resigned. Don't stay there and be telling us the problem every day when we were elected to solve the problem. We already know there's a problem. Solve it.
Thank you, sir. Leaders don't give excuses. We have...
No, there was one lady who didn't answer. What was the lady? There was one lady here.
Yeah, you've answered all the questions.
Okay,
You've answered all the questions.
Thank you.
We have in our midst the chairman of B-Way Group, I believe, Mr. Isaac Rabiu. He's a member of the Gotni board. Can we put our hands together for him? He has a question. So I don't know who has the microphone. No more questions, I'm sorry.
When chairman asks questions, this one will be tough for.
Oh, Gaza. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to first make one thing correct or record. I'm not the chairman of work group. I'm his brother. My name is Rabiu, Isiaku Rabiu. I have a property development company and I own IRS Airlines. I'm glad when we talk about Nigeria, we refer to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Chief Azikiwe, Amadu Bello, and so on and so forth. I think some of you here will be great-grandchildren of those leaders. And if anybody asks you to refer to other leaders, apart from them, I'm glad we can add one, Governor Peter Obi. One thing people don't know a lot about Governor Peter Obi is that he did not just become a governor. He was a very successful businessman, one of the early billionaires that Nigerians don't know. And I know, okay, I shouldn't have said that. Nobody knew that except me. But one thing I know when he was a governor, he stood his ground and acted like a servant of the people that was willing to sacrifice and worked hard, determined, dedicated, responsible, and patriotic to the Nigerian nation and Nigerian people. I remember he did not used to go around with convoys. Any ordinary Nigerian that is lucky today to be a governor that has been elected into office by the people, the next day he's sworn into office, he will be on the road with siren, and those same people that voted him into office will be pushed off the road. Because he is who? He's the governor, he's a big man, he will have the most money, he will have the biggest houses, he will have the biggest cars, and he will have our monies in his pocket. And we put him there. And that is when he said something about followership not doing their responsibility. I totally agree with him. Because I know unless and until there was a responsibility for him as a governor to do, he never ever chartered an aircraft to go from Port Harcourt to Abuja, unless it became necessary. He was always on a commercial aircraft. And when it became necessary, he would call me and say, Rabi, I have to travel, but I'm paying 50%. I said, oh, guys, I pay 75. No, I'm paying from my pocket. And then he would take that aircraft and go to Abuja and do what is necessary. The one thing I had hoped for was that Governor Peter Obi should have said what he is telling us now when he was in office, because he would have brought them to the right level and they would have tried to emulate him. And he would not be saying what he is saying today if it was not true. You know why? There are records. You can go and check each and everything he has said. But what I wanted to ask him truly is about you, the youth, especially those members of the NYSC, because tomorrow is about you and your children and future generations. You are a very strong group. You are a very committed, responsible group that can bring about changes in Nigeria. But you cannot do it individually. You have to do it as a pressure group. You have to do it in a manner that will make a difference. And one thing I wanted to ask our able leader, role model, mentor, hero, Peter Obi, is how can you, as NYSC members, come together and form pressure groups that will bring about the desired changes we need to have in Nigeria, that will give you the opportunity to lead, that will give you the opportunity to ensure that future Nigerians do not lack the necessities of life that they deserve. I went to a public school, Federal Government College, and when I was in school, we used to have the best of the best. You heard what he said about schools and how the governors and local government chairman, the guy spoke about here. It's our responsibility, and we cannot blame those in office because at least they have tried to be there. But what you need is a structure to come together and make that happen. We have so many problems: ethics, morals, irresponsibility, fraud, across board. That is something we have to fight, but we have to have the right leadership in place to first do it. So how can these young people that are patriotic, educated, passionate about Nigeria come together and bring about the desired changes we need? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chairman, I will start by telling you that yours was the more of intervention. And like I keep saying, if you know my joy is that these two people are here, these two publishers. And I can't thank them enough, because whether you like it or not, they represent the best in Nigeria. And they can contribute to what is happening. You see, I've said it before, it is their future. There's things that I tell people, let me tell you a few things that I said about followership in Nigeria. When I go to America to address Nigerians, it is Nigerians that tell me when I was governor, this man has a house here, this man has a house here, we can lead you to buy here. And I say, listen, I don't live in America. Why would I own a house in America? It's pure madness. I don't need it. I go to South Africa to address Nigerians. These are people who have run away because things are not good here as refugees. They are the ones who are telling me, this man owns a flat here, this man owns a flat here, this man owns a flat here. In fact, in one case in South Africa, somebody brought one man who told me he knows every Nigerian that owns a flat somewhere, all the police positions on it. And he said, I can sell this land to you. You know, it's just $2.5 million and everything. And I said to him, why will anybody buy this type of place and keep? If I buy it, it will cost me at least $125,000 a year to keep it. He said, more than that. I said, so why will I own it? I don't need it. I would rather use that money in my country, buy a bond, and I get 5% of it, which is $125,000 a year. I come to South Africa 3 times in a year. It costs me $200 in a night in hotel. He said, oh, is this? I said, no, I cannot pay for a hotel. I said, more than $200. It's not possible. Said, so 3 times is $600,000. And you want me to buy this? And I told the man, I said, I don't own a house in Abuja. The only place I own a house as P2B is in Onitsha. I said, even in Abuja, because the house I own in Abuja will cost me 400 million naira. Why will I own it when I go to Abuja every week and sleep one night, and it costs me 35,000? Now multiply by 52 weeks, it's not up to 5 million, and I buy a house for 400 million. That is not worth it. You know, so you can't do that. You know, so when people see, when you see so much waste, the reason why I'm saying this is that,
can we listen?
There's too much waste. That was why when I talked about this, what they need to do, no, we voted you in. We were with you here, Chairman, when you were talking about how to change it. Suddenly now you want to tell us we are no longer the same thing. Nobody has said no to them. That is the challenge. Why are we going to give you road to pass? Why are you going to treat us like this? Why are people pushing us? This is the only country people buy bulletproof car and then have 50 police. If you have already bulletproof car, then you don't use the security now, because that's the essence. Go to England, you see the Prime Minister, he moves with the bulletproof car. So he moves to only one vehicle and the bulletproof car. But yeah, he has bulletproof car, 3, and he has 50 police. So he has taken all the security men and he has money to buy bulletproof car. And nobody is looking for him to kill him. Nobody. I can say it, I was there for 8 years. Nobody killed me. Not one day. And there was no reason for it.
All right, sir.
So we can, then we be the people to question. What you need to do for what Chairman said is, come together, let us start small. Chairman said it, he repeated, don't go and start big. Let us start small. And tomorrow we see those who are contesting. Please take note. Sam is contesting. What did he tell us? Convince the next person. Today you have Twitter, you have this, you have that, and everything. You can convince the other people. If I tell you, I'm sure I'm ending, isn't it? This is my last question.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to ask me one again.
There's no more question. Maybe to add to what you're saying, what would you want to be remembered for?
No, the reason why I say this is that I do this every now and then. My daughter texted me yesterday and asked me a question. I'm going to read part of two of our questions, two of the things. First, he said to me, Daddy, why can't the country, Nigeria, have a loan system or pay school fees for bright people? I have people in my school who are 3 times smarter than I am, leaving school because they have no money. The only thing I feel like is to tell you, don't pay for me, pay for them. Because I believe they are far better than I am. But that's your country. Why will you treat people like that? So it is you to come together. And I always say to her, I say, Amaka, don't tell me this. What you need to do is to come together with other people and everything. And like I said, let it not be me not telling you this. I give you one of the tests she will send to me when I pay her school fees and everything. Come, because you're a younger man, so you can read this very well. I just said, let me just see, I'll get it now. Read this one, just this one. This is a test I received. Please go. This is a test I received when I paid her.
Okay.
One of her school fees.
Okay, I read as instructed. Good morning, dearest mommy and daddy.
He always put his mommy because
I have now successfully paid my school fees for this term and my room rent for the next 6 months. Not only that I have, as of present, received 3/4 of my upkeep finance too. I just want to say thank you. It will never stop positively bewildering me that I am this lucky. I think of those who don't have the financial security I and Eloka have. I just yesterday told mommy how I was looking through the newspaper and was struck by an image of some refugees trying to squeeze underneath some barbed wires to cross borders into what they believe is better opportunity. The photo I saw was of a woman and children. It struck me. There were people just like me, but devoid of the same benefits. I am just grateful. I don't really know what I did to deserve the life I am extremely fortunate to have, but I'm just really grateful, and I hope I can help those not as felicitous some way someday. Thank you so much again, and I really do love you both. XX.
Now, I tell people, I tell you what I tell people every day. You know, when I said it in the platform, I said, none of my kids have a car. They have never driven a car. She's doing her master. She's doing a second degree. They are 24 and 23. They don't have a car. They've never driven one. Because once they mention it, I say, wait until you buy one. Not to. But what am I trying to say? When she says this type of test, you know what I tell her? Amaka, all of you must get together. There must be some youth. You are now in the age of WhatsApp, tweeting, all sorts of things. We are not fortunate to know that you can use it to change the whole thing. So if you see Sam coming out to contest, use that Twitter, use that WhatsApp, use that and tell them this is our age. In this age, let me tell you, is age of knowledge, knowledge economy. He just told you about Alibaba. Alibaba in one day sold goods worth $14.9 billion. That is more than the budget of your country for 1 year. One day sales of Alibaba. Apple is today valued at over $700 billion. That is more than South Africa and Nigerian GDP put together. One company. So it is a knowledge economy. Seize it. It's your country. Remember what I said. The society we abuse today will take its revenge on you tomorrow. Thank you for your time.